What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another update video. And in case you don't know already, because it's kind of been lost in all the kind of madness of the Super League that's been going on over the past 24 hours, but Jose Mourinho has been sacked as Tottenham manager. What do you make out of this Jose thing? Do you reckon it's a smokescreen kind of from Enoch, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a PR move to take away from the fact of what they're trying to do with the European Super League. There's no doubt in my mind the timing of this announcement is by no means a coincidence that a few hours after announcing that we're going to betray the fan base and betray the footballing world, or the English football, by going to the European Super League, that they've announced the sacking of Jose Mourinho. I do think it's been coming. I do think it's a deserved sacking. I think at this current moment in time...
But it's all about the timing. That's what we're talking about.
The timing is a disgrace. I do think he should have been given the cup final. I think given how far we've got now, and given that we've ruled ourselves out of the Europa League, ruled ourselves out of the top four race, you might as well give him the cup final to see if he can do anything with it, because he got us there. So I do think he should have been given the cup final. I also think that that he hasn't had the tools that he thought he had to do the job that he hoped to do. Having said that, I do think he massively underachieved with the players that he did have in terms of attacking players, in terms of offensive players, and the football was really hard to watch. And I think at a certain stage you just got to say, it's not working out. He's alienated too many of the players, and we've got to just move on. I do think, though, that the announcement is 100% a PR move to kind of dilute what the European Super League is meaning for Tottenham, and I think it's seen as a distraction because of how unpopular Mourinho was getting, that they decided to sack him with this moment to kind of distract from the fact that what they're doing is really disgusting for the European Super League. So that's my thoughts on the timing of Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, I mean, what they wanted out of this, they wanted no one to be talking about the Super League, everyone to be talking about Jose Mourinho sacking, when it's actually the other way round. Nobody's talking about this Jose sacking.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about the European Super League. And look, it's an abomination, this whole Super League, but the purpose of this video is to talk about the Jose Mourinho sacking, because it hasn't been spoken about enough. I mean, I, for one, did want him gone, but I do feel that we're sacking him a week too early. I wanted him gone straight after that cup final, win or lose, to be honest. But look, Jose Mourinho deserves to be sacked as Tottenham manager, but I do feel he deserved the week for the cup final. It reminds me a bit of the George Graham sacking. Everyone wanted him sacked at the time. They sacked him the week leading up to the FA Cup semi-final against Arsenal when Glenn Hoddle took charge, and I felt that George Graham got sacked a week too early then, should have been sacked after that semi-final, or potentially after the final if he would have got there. And I feel it's the same now, but like I said, Jose Mourinho, he didn't do enough to stay in this Tottenham job, and I felt that he wasn't the right man for Spurs. Let's be honest. He just wasn't the right man for Spurs.
Look, at the end of the day, we have to take, the club should take responsibility for sacking the best thing that's ever happened to this club in the Premier League era. And that's Pochettino. And that's what we did. We feared that this would be the consequence to sacking him, because he normalised overachieving, and we got so used to overachieving that we expected it, and that's the big problem that we had as a club. And then once we all of a sudden didn't give him the right tools to keep progressing the club and get higher and higher, and allowed it to stagnate, and then we blame the one person who actually got us to where we are now. And pretty much the only reason we're in a Super League is pretty much thanks to Pochettino. If it wasn't for Pochettino, there'd be no reason for us to even be there. We wouldn't even probably have the stadium if it wasn't for Pochettino. So the fact that we just got rid of him in the first sign of trouble is a big failing of the football club. Yes, they gambled with Mourinho and paid him a lot of money, one of the best managers of all time. And I, for one, having sacked Poch, he was my number one choice, because I thought that there's no better man to try and get us to make that difference between a good team and a great team than someone like Mourinho. But the fact of the matter is, we weren't a good team anymore.
We underestimated the problems that we were actually in.
Correct.
And that was the facts of the matter. We underestimated the state of the club. We thought we were in a much better state than we were. Jose Mourinho thought we were in a much better state than we were. And probably Daniel Levy and Enoch probably thought we were in a much better state than we were. We were under complete disillusions of the problems that this club is going through. And now they're being completely heightened. And this Super League has just put on top of that, has just made this a complete and utter shit show. Daniel Levy and Enoch they've got I mean, look, they're taking a lot of people's livelihoods away. They're taking this community sense of the feel of the word of Tottenham Hotspur away. And I'm struggling to put words out of what this actually means to me, because it's actually a complete and utter disgrace. It's a shambles, and no one could have envisaged how bad it could get.
They're ripping the heart and soul out of the club. Look, this is a video about Mourinho, but look, but you can't take away from the fact what they're doing for the Super League. It's all connected, and I think it's absolutely disgraceful what they're attempting to do with this kind of power grab of with the Super League, and trying to monopolise what it is to be competitive in football. Really, they're trying to eliminate the competition, which is absolutely, as much as it'll benefit Tottenham as a football club, it's going to completely ruin football as a whole, and that's what we all care about. That's the competition we love, and that is absolutely unacceptable. And in terms of Mourinho, look, he's won trophies everywhere he's been except for Tottenham Hotspur, and I don't care what you think of modern day Mourinho. That says a lot. That says a hell of a lot, and that says to me that. I've said it before, and I continue to maintain Mourinho is far from the biggest problem at this football club.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely far from the biggest problem at this football club.
We all know the bigger problem, and the biggest problem is ENIC right now.
Exactly. He failed. Yes, he failed, but it's by no means his biggest failure. It's more of a failure of the board and more of a failure of the running of the football club to why he failed than Mourinho. That's what I would say. Jose, yes, elements of football have potentially passed him by. We now have to say that, having seen it firsthand with our own eyes, some of the tactics, some of the management styles doesn't seem, either it's passed him by or it hasn't worked with the group of players that we have. And that is the just reality of the beast. That is just what the reality is with Jose Mourinho, and he has to take responsibility for those failings. But at the end of the day, ENIC and the board have to take massive responsibility for allowing the club to be in the position it is, allowing the club to stagnate, always putting the profits before anything else instead of actually competing on the pitch. And I think we're reaping this. You reap what you sow, and we're seeing we're seeing what is the consequences of that right now with everything, and going to the Super League, agreeing to it, and all the other clubs as well, is absolutely diabolical, and it's completely unacceptable, and that is the nature of what's happening. And I do feel a bit sorry for Jose, as much as I do think he deserved the sack at the end of the day. I do feel a bit sorry for him for how it's all ended up, because I do think he tried his best. I do think he did everything he could to try and make it work and get the best. And I really do believe he came into this job thinking that he could be a massive success here and he could help turn us around. But unfortunately, it hasn't worked out.
It might have been right man, wrong time kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think I'm not going to be one celebrating his sacking as much as I understand other people have been. I'm not going to be celebrating it, but I definitely understand it, and I think it needed to happen at some point. But I think the timing is very, very suspicious. And
I for one was a guy that wanted Jose Mourinho out for the last week or two. I was a guy for one that didn't agree with his appointment at the time, but I quickly jumped on the bandwagon. Everyone knows that. But I will not be celebrating his sacking, because there are much, much bigger problems at this club. And until that's sorted out, until ENIC go, then look, at the end of the day, with this Super League now, it doesn't look like our problems will ever be resolved.
And you got to say, at the end of the day now, looking at the bigger picture, sacking Pochettino, it was absolutely unforgivable from Levy at this point. You have to say that, yeah.
Either way, even if they didn't sack Pochettino at the time, with all this news, I bet you Poch would have walked.
Yeah, he should have walked. Yeah, you're right. He probably would have walked, having all this news as well. We're a disgrace. We're a disgrace to football.
Because Poch knew what it was to be a Spurs manager. He knew what it was to be a Spurs man. He got it in every essence of the word.
He wouldn't have agreed with this.
And now ENIC, Levy are ripping the heart and soul out of this football club, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop right now. We are on our way down to the stadium as we speak. At 4:30, we'll be outside, so come and join us. We'll have some banners to hand out. We are going to be protesting ENIC. We're going to be protesting the Super League. So me and John are going down there now. Sim is staying in the studio to carry on the live streams and getting your views and getting your say on the channel. But we are going to be going down to the stadium to protest ENIC and to protest against the European Super League. So look, I call on all Spurs fans, even if you're not a Spurs fan, just come down and protest against the abomination that is the European Super League.
Yeah, it's about our owners, but it's about the Super League by and large.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is forming, it's not just Tottenham who've agreed to this. It's 11 other absolutely despicable clubs who have agreed for this breakaway league, and it's absolutely disgusting. And it's not going to lead to a good product as well. It's going to lead to an awful product which no one wants. No fans have been consulted about this. We need to make sure our voices are heard, that we do not agree with this, because they're pretty much doing this with a cloak and dagger without anyone say so. They're saying the board are saying basically the club is ours, we're going to do what we want with it, and that is unacceptable from a fan's point of view. The fans built this club up, and it's the fans who have to have a say in where the club moves forward. And
Bill Nicholson will be rolling in his grave right now with the state of the club it is in. He will be absolutely fuming. I mean, Bill Nicholson knew exactly how important the fans were to this football club. He said it many a time. Without football fans, this club is nothing.
Get this greed out of my club.
Exactly. And lastly, I just want to ask you about our next manager.
Yeah, it's hard to even think about.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Now.
Like, do you care who our next manager is right now?
Right now, as long as the Super League is going ahead, no, I don't give a crap. I couldn't care less about what are the new managers. You know what? I saw the news about Mourinho, and I didn't even bat an eye at it. I was like, okay, sack, but who cares? Like, I've got bigger things to worry about right now than Mourinho being sacked. The whole of the football, the football structure is at risk at the moment with how things are turning out, and it's really, really hard. It's hard to even talk about transfers and who we need in the summer and who our new man. I couldn't care about all that shit, all that stuff that people are talking about in general. It doesn't mean anything right now. Nothing means anything. Like, oh, can we get a manager to get us back in the top four? What does top four mean anymore? Top four doesn't mean anything anymore. Competition doesn't mean anything anymore. All it is clubs aligning themselves with pockets with extra few hundred million to get it's hard. It's so hard, really.
It's very hard, but look,
to get my head around all this right now. I
call on all fans to come and join us at 4:30. I'm not sure how long we're going to be there, but we'll be there for however long it takes. So come and join us. I need to go and make my way there now. But look, thank you everyone for watching. Jose Mourinho has been sacked as Tottenham manager. Tottenham have agreed to enter into the Super League. They have taken themselves out of UEFA, so Champions League and Europa League and all that kind of stuff is completely no more. And I think it's the end of football as we know it. But look, thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, ENIC out.
Yeah, ENIC out, definitely.